What's going on, family? On the late night, what's happening? Let a few people come in the building, talk to me. Um, as far as my day was good. I woke up this morning. I put a nice little care package together, some food and stuff. Got this nice Mexican family over by University Avenue. Take the train about 4 stops, get off, and I work out right there in that park too. So right before you get to the workout part, it's this Mexican family. They've been there for a minute, so I take food and clothes and things to them. Look out for them. And I remember I first started doing this years ago, really, but I would be all over the place. A lot of times I would only do it in Manhattan, and if I didn't go to Manhattan, then the stuff would like pile up, right? So I said to myself, I pass people to get to the train station every day, right? So what I did was I said, you know what, I'm gonna pick one or two families, and I'm just gonna do for them, right? I'm do for everyone, really. I see people in the street, a dollar or two, get something to drink. It's hot outside. Hey, go get them a water. But I was looking for clever ideas, and things to do to better help the homeless, right? I didn't just want to give them money every time I see them, or just give them clothes or something, but something more meaningful, right? So I seen, I think it was a Japanese lady when she on her way to work, right? And when she comes home, she leaves a case of water near the homeless people, right? They're sleeping. She leaves the water. They wake up dehydrated, and they can hydrate themselves. So I thought that was a good idea. So I said, you know what? I'm going to incorporate something similar. But for now, I give them clothes and things like that. Mexican family, and just to see them smile, just to see them smile and put a smile on their face is really, really good, really incredible. You know what I mean? And then I went to go work out, did my regular morning routine when it worked out. Came back, did some promotion. Got a few events coming up. Um, got a nice one next month. I'm gonna promote it probably this Friday. Yeah, but my week was great. My week was great. Hung out with a couple of friends. Really enjoyed myself coming back from upstate, and now being online and everything, and doing a lot of promotion offline, dealing with a lot of people offline. My homeboy, right? It's this park I work out in Walton Park, Walton Playground, and it's this brother over there. I call him Light, OG Light, and the brother got me a job in his building. Working with this family with an autistic child, and I was surprised that he kept telling me about it. Kept telling me about it, and I was like, okay, just kind of like sometimes we hold ourselves back. Other people can kind of see the talent in us. People been telling me for so long. You can do this. You can do this. Setting me up with jobs and stuff, and I'm kind of we sabotage because we don't believe in ourselves, and we won't believe in ourselves until we do that, right? We keep trying to do that, and then you kind of see if it's for you or if it's not for you, or if you can do it or if you can't do it. But if you don't try, you'll never know. And that's what happens with a lot of us. A lot of us are talented. I know a lot of talented people, but they don't seem to kind of reach that peak because many different reasons: a fear of what they can do, a fear of self, negative thinking. How do we talk to ourselves? Do we even have confidence in ourselves? A lot of times we don't. We're putting it into everyone else, and these stars and these movie stars. I see some of the comments that people leave under their posts, almost kind of like they knew them all their life. When you got somebody right beside you that's cheerleading for you, that's helping you, that's motivating you, and a lot of times we ignore those people. Why do we ignore them? Because we're looking for validation from our so-called idols or superstars. You understand? So, but the best thing to do is put that back in yourself. If you've been giving away your energy, been giving away your power, it's time to put that energy and power back into you so you can properly, spread it, and but if we're always giving our energy away, we'll never have any energy for ourselves. And this is where the burnout comes in, right? We do for everyone else, we're doing everything, and we leave ourselves burnt out and we feel some type of way. We're pointing the finger at other people when it was really us, right? No one had a gun to our head. No one has a remote control on us, right? So we kind of did this ourselves, but we think about why did we do it? A lot of times we did it because we wanted to be accepted, right? That woman that you was chasing and you was trying to impress her, and her behavior was telling you she wasn't really into you, but you kept forcing it. And I don't know, some of these people, they get an idea, you know what, I'm gonna use this man or woman. They like me. I'm not giving them any attention or any energy, at least the same energy. But sometimes, the validation, wanting to be validated, we jump through hoops. You understand? But why would you want to be with someone who doesn't like you for who you are, but like you for the facade that you put on? Right? And then what happens when you're tired of playing that role? Right? The relationship is over. It was never really a relationship. It was, I guess, what they call a situation. And the situation is pretty much over because now you being your real self. You're not dumbing yourself down to try to be like him or her, or you're not trying to put on a front. You understand what I mean? Like, you got big bucks and this and that. Come on the internet and put your foot in your mouth. I remember one time a friend, right? I call him C. I call him C. One time a friend, he had just got divorced, right? He just got divorced from his wife, everything. They got 4 kids, right? So he had the kids. He had the kids, and he was like, he borrowed money from me a couple of times. So the financial strain was definitely on him. 4 kids. I think the brother was in like a 1 bedroom or a 2 bedroom, struggling back then. Real dude. He get his chips. It's just he fell on hard times. He's getting divorced, having to relocate. Oh man, it was a lot. And he really, really loved this woman, right? But what I notice is sometimes we be in this truck, right? And the brother would damn near kick me out the truck to take him to the supermarket. Those are his kids. It's only right. Go to the supermarket. But she would promise him, hey, she's gonna cook, mac and cheese and all of this, his favorite dish, turkey wings and everything at the end of the night. But she called him at like 7 o'clock, 6, 7 o'clock to go food shopping. They're in there for about an hour. He loads the truck up, drops her off, takes the food in the house for her, and she tells him, it's too late. The kids got to go to school. I got to go to work. I'm just gonna throw them in something in the microwave with some Popeyes, and so once a lot of times these women know you, or they feel like they know you. It's like a book that they read. They toss it to the side, read the new book. Some women have that mentality, not all. But bottom line, she knew that the brother was still in love with her, still feeling her, and she knew that the brother would almost do anything for her. And I felt like she was taking advantage. There's plenty of times I was with him and the brother, drop me off, and they would go to City Island to eat or whatever, and the brother would kick the bill because like he was trying to impress her, trying to get her back when she wasn't really into my brother anymore. From what I seen, sometimes they used to argue, and the things that she used to say, like we're never getting back together. You're only doing this to So but she didn't have to take it. She could have declined. You know what I mean? So you guys leave it in the comment section. What do you think she should have did? Or if you're a woman, what would you do? Do you think she should decline? She should have declined the gifts and taken it out to eat and stuff like that, or would you have accepted it? You don't see anything wrong with it, right? I see him being my homeboy, and we used to talk a lot and everything. I seen pretty much like she was playing mind games with the brother, right? Um, a woman to tell you will keep you at bay, right? And once she learns your behavior, right, if she's keeping you at bay and she's telling you, hey, we may get back together. There's a possibility, and you're on your best behavior. Why would she get back with you? Especially if she's with someone that's doing everything that you wasn't doing, but then she keeps you at bay and you're on your best behavior. You're doing everything that you should have done when you had it. Why would she get back with you? Right? She get back with you, and then you fall into that same loop, and the behavior redirects. She's not, you know what I mean? So, brothers and sisters, you gotta know your worth. You gotta know your self-worth. If you don't know it, or if you're not controlling yourself or controlling your own brain, somebody will. People see it. People watching you every day. People see the greatness in you, and if you're not using it, some people feel that they're gonna use you, right? Now utilize. We talk about utilize. Utilize is something different. Utilize is when we're both able to profit off of something that maybe one individual does, or we both profit, right? We're utilizing each other, right? But when we use, right, it's like a toilet paper. You use it and you throw it out. But utilizing is something that, we use multiple times. So utilizing one another is not a bad thing. But when you use somebody, and that's what's happening a lot of times. But if you don't know yourself, then it is easy for people to come and manipulate you. And that's what's happening. And that's what's happening a lot. I was looking online at one particular YouTube. I like this YouTuber too. I think that the brother's funny. I just think that he might be in the wrong avenue, and you got to know your audience too. You got to know if these people are laughing with you or laughing at you. Some people don't mind, right? They're on there for the clicks, the views. They don't care if someone's laughing at them, cracking jokes on them, playing them. And the way we present ourselves to the outer world and the way we carry ourselves is usually the way people are going to treat us. They're not mind readers. They don't know the real you. They only know what you show them. And if you're being fake, you're going to receive, you're going to attract that energy to you. Going to attract that energy to you. And a lot of times, and these people are good people. They're not bad people, but when we're being manipulative, right, in a way, in our energy, and we're always being nice to others, we broke that down in a prior show, right? The word nice, what does it mean? And I'm not talking about the definition of it, I'm just talking about the etymology of the word, the root of the definition of the word, and more, get into the etymon. But this is what happening. People are basically seeing what they can get from one another, right? If a woman can get something from a man, a woman with that mentality, she's gonna get it, man. Why? Because she's in survival mode, right? And this dude might be a survivor, and survivors attract a lot of people that's going through it. He's a survivor. She's going through trauma. It's like a doctor-patient relationship. She's attracted to him. He wants to be the best doctor or the best man, and a lot of times those type of people are not appreciated, right? What do they say about the nice guy? The nice guy usually gets the bad end of the stick, right? We need to be more direct, more direct with people. You understand? And be considerate, right? Being considerate and being nice really has nothing to do with being a bad person or a good person. It's just a manipulative behavior. Children are nice when they want to get their way. Individuals are nice when they want to get their way. I'm sorry 1,000 times. And when they say, I'm sorry, what happens? They make it about them, right? So you can be a total good person, but this is your program, and this is how you was raised to be nice to people, to allow people to walk all over you, to be a doormat, right? And now if you're like 30 years old or your mid 30s, that's a program that's stuck with you. You have to get out of that loop, right? I knew a woman, she's from St. Lucia. Name was Rose. She was a Jehovah's Witness, and I mean, she would see someone in the street. There was, I mean, one time we was coming from Fordham Road. I can't remember the bus that drops you off on what is that? Over there by Park? No, is it Webster and Tremont? I believe Webster and Tremont, or Webster and Park, something like that, right? And across the street from the Dunkin', is that the Burger King on the corner. So one time we get off the bus, and I was tired. I was tired. We just came back from GNC. I had the big ball. I had some weights. I'm tired, man. We was out all day, and so there was a guy there on the floor. I asked her for $5, and She didn't use bodega uh, ATM machines. She had to go to her bank. So the guy asked her for $5, and she's like, "Oh, like she didn't know what to do." Froze up and got back on the bus. I said, "I'm going home." But she said, "You go home when you come with me." I'm going home. I'm off the bus with this. I'm not getting back on the bus with all this stuff. So anyway, she went back to the bank and got the $10 or something. He gave it to this dude. I was like, "Oh man!" And I think that was a good thing to do. It wasn't a bad thing to do, but when your body is telling you something and you're not in sync with your mind and your body, and people like that get burnt out. She used to express to me, well, she used to do a lot for her family, and they didn't really kind of reciprocate the same energy in a sense. And her family was nice people, good people, but it's just sometimes we get burnt out, and sometimes we can handicap people, because people look for that. You being nice to them, everything. They look for that. You know what I mean? And some people would take advantage of that. Not too many people know the science of, give and receive, and things of that nature. It's not good. That's why a friend gives me something, I always like to give them something in return. I just don't like to take unless I just don't have it at the time. But I like to trade. When I come to a person's house, I always like to bring something. Whether whatever they like. If it's coffee, I'm gonna bring some Bristello. You know what I mean? If it's a cake, whatever the case may be, I'm gonna bring something. I think when we live like this, when we think like this, our relationships are more whole and more fuller, right? Because usually someone's gonna feel taken advantage of in those relationships, whether it's an intimate relationship, a friendship, where you just taking, and a lot of those relationships are one sided. They can burn you out. You think you're strong enough to do it. You think you're doing the right thing. Like my friend, she's from St. Lucia. She was a Jehovah's Witness growing up. She felt that this was the right thing to do. And if she didn't do it, then her God was looking down on her and would think that she was an awful person because she has the money in her bank account. So I'm like, wow. So everyone lives their life different. And I didn't judge her. It's something that she wanted to do. I wouldn't let her cash out because, it seemed like every homeless person we seen walking the street, she was ready to hit them off with something, and I was like, wow. But that's the religious mind state, and how religious people grow up. Right? Doesn't mean they're bad people or good people. It's just part of their programming. But I have nothing wrong with that. Given I just aimless giving. Sometimes we just give freely and we're not really doing that good, right? If you're giving a person money and this person goes buy this drugs to further harm themselves, then I guess you would kind of be accessory to it, even though you didn't know. But I just choose, if someone looks like they're getting high or mad drugs and stuff like that, then I probably wouldn't give them money. And if it is, it wouldn't be enough to get high. It would be like $1, $2 to get something to drink. The other day, this brother wanted some ice cream, so I gave the brother $2. He went and got him some ice cream. I see his teeth was out, so that probably was the best thing. Some ice cream, ice pop, or something like that. But yeah, so I say, when given to the less fortunate, because everyone in the street is not homeless. I say when give it to the less fortunate, give something meaningful. Give something that they really, really can use, something that might lift them up, right? And sometimes you want to give the money, but if they're getting high, then you can kind of give them something else. Give them some water. Japanese, like, she leaves a case of water by sleeping homeless people in the street. So when they wake up, they're not thirsty. Drink some water. So I felt like that was good. I felt like that was good. So I might do the water, do something similar, but I think that's really good. Just walking by, just drop some water, and just keep it moving. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? You give them $10, they're going to get high. Even if they want to be clean, that $10 probably triggers something, and they want to go get high. You know what I mean? So I say give meaningful things, and you don't have to be down with an organization or anything. You can just give to your local homeless people that you pass by every day, going to work or going to school or coming from. Drop something off. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Sometimes I might have a half a bottle of ketchup, something, tuna fish. I drop it off to them, a loaf of bread, a half a loaf of bread, do things to that so they can sustain themselves, right? Because this could be anybody out there in the way America is any given day. You know what I mean? So yeah, I fed the homeless, man, did my workout, my daily routine, and I was talking to a friend on Instagram, and I think we all should have a more positive routine, right? Because we all do have a routine, whether it's good or bad, but I think it should be more positive and more conducive to your lifestyle, right? So what I do is I wake up maybe around 5:30 sometimes, do a 20-minute, 15-minute stretch before I even get out of bed. And then I hit the floor and do some push-ups just to ground myself, bring myself in the present moment. And I try not to grab my phone. That doesn't always work like that. I mean, sometimes I grab it as soon as I wake up. Sometimes I try not to grab it for about an hour after I wake up. I leave it on the charger, take it off the charger, leave it in one of my rooms, and I'm in the living room basically, watching something on a tablet. But there's things that we can do to kind of make us better at these things, right? I turned off all the notifications on my phone, so I don't receive notifications really. Maybe on like a couple of apps, two apps, and I don't know how to turn those off. But I turned it off. My phone goes black and white at like 7:30 at night. Put the red light on. So there's certain things that we can do. So when I see people out here making it hard for themselves and making it hard for others, and it's kind of like they don't know that they have options, right? You don't have to be a part of the drama if you really don't want to, right? And I'm here to let people know that they should know that by now. You're 30, 40, 50 years old, and you're beefing online. That's not really, because people are always watching. If people are watching, and even if they want to do some work with you, they seen your behavior over the years, right? Not one time, not two times, not three times, 4, 5 times. That is a pattern, and everyone has a pattern. When you see these people patterns, then you have other people, the trolls. You become food for them now. Now they know what makes you tick, right? Why would you put up a pretty picture of your mother if you know that if someone says something to you, it's going to tick you off and you're going to hit the ceiling? Why would you do that? We do it to ourselves. You put up a beautiful picture of your daughter, your son, your family, and now you waking up in the morning, or if you had notification, your anxiety flares, and now you're like, oh my God, but you did it to yourself. And you can put up pictures of your beautiful family, and you just put it on the option where only friends and family can see it, or either your members only. This is for members only. This is not just for anyone. Anyone. You should have your accounts private unless you're just that type of person. But you should have your private. You wouldn't have to deal with the trolls and this and that, because people will befriend you just to get a picture off of your what's the name, off of your page, and then give it to such and such. You'll never know. This is a dirty game with certain people. It's a mentality, right? So it's not a color thing. It's not if you're tall or you're short, you're black, you're white, you're orange. It's a mentality thing. What's happening is a lot of people are bringing their destructive culture online, to these social media platforms, right? You leave it at the door, leave your culture at the door, right? This is basically we see now as entertainment. Some people use it for different reasons. Some people make a page for the first time, get on here and look for an old friend or a classmate or something. But then you have people that's using it for the dopamine rush, the validation rush, right? We was talking about that last time, where people will put up a picture and then come back a half an hour later and expect 3,000 comments, 4,000 likes. And if they don't get that, then they feel discouraged. So this is how social media has created a whole new culture of validation. People want validation. They want compliments. So they put up a picture or a video of them in their outfit. And if they come back and it doesn't have enough hits or enough likes or comments, then they're not wearing that outfit. Is it that's crazy? It's crazy when you think about it, but this is the culture that we're in where people just want validation, right? And when you're a child, it's okay. We seek validation. What they say about 10 to 12 years old, that's when the brain develops and the brain seeks validation, right? For some, it might be before that, right? But children love to hear their name, they love compliments. And and some adults are the same way. But this is what social media has created this type of culture, and and then our own culture, we bring it on social media, right? The thug culture, the block culture, or whatever, and then wonder why the indictments, the things of that nature, because we're in the wrong lane. You can't bring your culture here. That pow shoot 'em up stuff, it's not gonna really fly, right? Especially if you're trying to make money. Go audition, um, but when I see brothers and sisters beefing online, and I see them struggling, it's because a lot of times we're doing it to ourselves. We don't have to be down all the time, right? Be down with yourself. Self validation, right? So many adults are seeking outside validation from people who really don't matter in their life, right? And when you don't have the self validation, you don't have your own mind, people are able to control you and laugh at you and make you crash out and things of this nature when you don't have your own mind. But when you have your own mind and you have heart and you have purpose in this life, they can't do that to you. You become like bulletproof. Right? Why? Because you see it before it happens. You see what they're trying to do. These people are in survival mode. And guess what? It's nothing personal. Because if it wasn't you, it would be somebody else. This is why we have to be careful the people, places, and things that we engage in. It can have a great effect on our life or a bad effect on our life. So we have to pay close attention of what we involve ourselves with, even mentally, what we involve ourselves with, what we're looking at online, the conversations that we end. And we was talking about that earlier. Now, if something pops up on my timeline or a person or something I'm not into, I automatically say I'm not interested, do not recommend, whatever is the options on that social media platform. You have to, because social media has changed now to where they just show you what they feel like is your interest, not really your friends. How many of your friends you ain't seen in months? And then you go to their page and they just put a post 5 minutes ago. It's because social media and the algorithm is not showing you your friends list. They're more so showing you what they believe you're into, right? What you're into, because it's just Facebook. It's like an ad. It's just a bunch of ads and things of that nature. But you have people that's promoting the wrong material on these certain platforms. Every platform specialize in, I believe, a certain material.